Luka Nation, we're approaching episode 700, and we have a repeat guest, someone that on previous episodes, I think he was with us in 2020, 2021, and now here it is 2022, the trilogy. And this is someone I think you're going to want to have on because, and you're going to want to learn from. At your young age, what I learned from you is you've kind of been through cycles, man. You've been an entrepreneur for 5 years. Is that right? You started at 18?
He's been an entrepreneur since he was a sperm. That's what he's going to tell you.
I started my first company at 13, so I've been
see?
10 years now. Yeah.
So you've been through these ebbs and flows, these bull markets when everything's going your way as a business person, and then it gets a little bit more difficult, right?
Sure. I really don't look at things that way because I'm so immersed in the content and in having fun, and I do what I love. Especially I have on the basketball media side for so long. And the NBA has literally only been like this in terms of popularity. There has not been a real downturn in terms of, fans, the quantity of fans of the NBA. And that has directly benefited pretty much everything I've done for the last, decade or so. But on the collectible side, absolutely. I've seen it up and down, since I got in back in 2013, buying Giannis prisms and stuff like that. Yeah, I've seen it.
So welcome back to Lucas Tigers Bronze. Cage, quick math question. So if you guys haven't seen this,
Is this watch, by the way, the old baseball card redemptions? In order to do a redemption, there was a math question on the back for Canadians.
Yes. This redemption gets you a Topps Chrome Kobe refractor if you're able to answer it. So go listen to Buster's episode with T-Max. So, Cage.
Yes.
T-Max scored 13 points in 33 seconds, right? What is that?
That's around the age, a little bit older.
Is that young Buster?
Than when I started, yeah. Is that an article?
Yes, sir. You were in high school. Staples, right? Staples is high school? Staples student.
Yeah. So I went for the last 3 years of high school.
Discuss fantasy basketball. All right, so give me a math question. I'm sorry. I just wanted to give Buster
How many points would T-Mac have finished in a game if he played 41 minutes?
Wait. Well, you're assuming that he's going to score the same amount every minute that he did during the 13-point barrage?
You have to add that the question is how many points would he score in the game if he scored a
So he scored 13 in how long?
33 seconds.
Wow. That is amazing. And how many minutes are there in a game? It's 48, right?
My question, though, was based on the average minutes he played in the season, which was 41.
Which is crazy in of itself. Now players play like 32.
I mean, that's pretty nuts, right? 41 minutes per game. You got to break that to seconds, right? So you're going to be 2,460 seconds.
Yeah, you're pretty damn close.
41-minute game, yeah. So that's per second. So if you divide that by 33, I might have to round a little bit. It's about 74, 75 points. So 2460. So it's 20. He plays 2460 seconds. And he is going to score, so you got to divide that by 13. So that's 74, 75. And then you got to multiply that by 13. So 13 times like 75, like he was scored 975-ish points, something like that.
Wow. Very
something like that. What were you? No, I mean, think about it. 41 minutes, 60. You got to multiply to 60 seconds on 41 minutes. It's almost 2,000.
I thought you were on it until you said 75, and I was like, I don't know what this 75 number is.
That's if you divide. So I'll show you my brain, right? So 28 and change. You got to divide that by the 33 seconds, right? So you're dividing that by 33 seconds, then you're multiplying the 33 seconds by 13. So that was basically, that's like how many periods of 13 points would he have in a game? 75.
Hey, you got it. I think the number I came out with
was the actual answer.
How much? 964. Yeah, so I was damn close. Good.
That's because when I said 41 minutes to you, but the fact is 40.8.
Oh, well, I mean decimals here. I did it 41 minutes.
I think that's the difference. So very well done. Nice.
We try. I mean the math is there. I could have rounded a lot more. 30 seconds would have given me a different number. It would have been quicker. But 33, I had to add an extra 10% onto the half.
So that was phenomenal. By the way, go back and listen. That was the craziest minute and a half I've ever. You did math, subtraction, division, multiplication. And you got to the right answer. I thought you were going to be
close. But,
There's some common sense in there too.
Kind of round it a little bit. But that was an awesome 33 seconds, by the way. Only rivaled maybe by Reggie Miller scoring his 9 points, right? Or Reggie Miller doing his Spike Lee. I hate Reggie Miller.
Let me ask you, Buster. Like, just open it up. So, I would say, like, in today's market, some people think that card prices are going down, and they are. Some people see higher end stuff selling for record prices, and they are. What do you make, like, from your perspective? What advice would you give to the hobby? What are you seeing in the market? Just like maybe very macro, and then we'll dig into a bunch of stuff. And I think Cage is going to do a box opening here towards the end of the show too. So I want to open up, kind of get your take on the market, then dig into maybe add some value to people, and then we'll have a little box opening to wrap it up.
Yeah, look, it all depends on what you're in the hobby for. If you're in the hobby for collecting, this is the best thing that could have possibly happened, because all of these PC cards for people that were traditionally out of reach are now accessible. And that hasn't been the case since early 2020, 2019, 2018, and going back even before that for certain players or that people PC, especially Legends. So that's very exciting. And I'm super happy for all of those people, including myself. I've been able to buy things recently that I wouldn't have bought because I had no intentions of selling it. And certain things you can't justify buying for yourself if you don't plan on selling it. But, it's down 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. And all of a sudden it looks real good. And that's true on the NFT side for me. And that's true on the physical card side for me. And that's true on the memorabilia side for me. Now, on the other side, for those that are in it for other reasons, it's the same thing being proven that we knew this whole time, which was the stuff that you don't see auctioned every day is the stuff that is worth a lot of money and will maintain its value in the market. No Honus Wagner T206 card has ever sold for a loss. 1 billion LeBron James Chrome rookies have sold for a loss.
No Honus Wagner card has ever sold for a loss.
No, one sold they'll break even.
What? T206. Yeah,
one sold break even. You know who broke even? You know who broke even? Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky actually broke even on his.
Well,
the only person ever, and he tells that story. He's like, I'm the only one who found the way to break even on this Honus Wagner. Yep.
So it's cards like that, Mantle, Ruth, the best of the Jordan and Char.
By the way, take a second here. Listen to what Buster's saying, right? I thought when he said, it's the stuff that doesn't come up every single day that, and Buster's, he's 14 years old. I mean, I showed that picture. That was last week, right? So it's the craziness, right? I thought he was going to be like, so you got to buy the golds. You got to buy Prism golds, out of 10 of Larry Bird, or, that you don't see that auction all the time. You got to buy the kabooms. You got to buy the one-of-ones of the modern cards. But he didn't say that. Right, and I thought that's where I thought he was going to go. Because that's what everybody's telling you to buy now. Those low pop, super rare, one-of-one golds or whatever the heck it is. He said no. He said Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Honus Wagner. It's a different way of getting to the same point, which is don't sell the stuff that's coming out all the time.
Here's what I'll say too, and people aren't going to want to hear this, but it's
my favorite thing.
It's just the fact of the matter. If you're buying low to mid end, you're just gambling. There's no fact of the matter about it. If the market goes down, you will lose money. It does not matter who you invest in. You can invest in the best prospect, and he can go drop 4,000 points like Tracy McGrady, and the card value will still go down. And he can enter the Hall of Fame, and it'll drop in value. It's bigger than that. But what you have to think about if you're really in it for investing, in my opinion, is think about purchasing it like you're purchasing a business. What value can this bring you? Can it give you dividends? Okay. How does a card give you dividends? Well, you can loan items to museums, for-profit museums that will pay 3 to 6% value per year on an item in a dividend. Well, they will pay you that amount to hold your card or item in their museum. That is only true for the greatest items in the world. That's only
museum quality items. That's
exactly, and that's what a Honus Wagner is. That's what a Ruth is. That's what a Cobb is. That's what a Michael Jordan that's what a Michael Jordan 2003 Exquisite. It's what a LeBron James logo man is. That's that upper echelon that I'm talking about, where you're acquiring a real business where you can make money off of content from it. You can make money off of loaning or leasing it to a museum. That is something that is a much more legitimate purchase because it's bigger than just the market. And people who don't collect cards and memorabilia know what it is. When you say Honus Wagner card, there are probably a few 100 million people in the world that would know what that is, whereas the reports are that there are only a couple million collectors. That's the sort of stuff that I think are the things that, from an investment perspective, are the only thing. There is nothing else.
That's why I love having Buster on. I tell it's you like telling stories, but what I say when you're buying a card is the less story you have to tell about it, the better. You put it down on a table and everybody knows who it is. It tells its own story. Honus Wagner, you don't have to tell the story of Honus Wagner. It's there, it's on the table, and boom, everyone knows what it is. Whether you collect cards or not, you're probably gonna know what it is.
It's there, it's on the table. His dog ate half of it. He put the rest in a piece of plastic and loaned it out to a museum.
Honus is a unique one, but with Honus, each individual card has its own story, like the one that was sold that was given to a nun, or like the one that was owned by Gretzky, or the one that was owned by this actor, or that. That's the cool thing about the Wagners, but it's true. There are other unique cards that tell great stories, but that doesn't. You got to be a fantastic, storyteller to create a market for that on top of it. Like I'll give you an example. I saw this card that I took a video of and I posted it. It was my friend Nick's. He has a 2002 Topps Finest Refractor Redemption for the #1 pick.
LeBron.
And the redemption is numbered to 250. LeBron. Mm-hmm. Unredeemed.
Yep.
Unredeemed blank refractor, numbered to 250 from 2002. So LeBron was still in high school and graded a 9.5. It's the only one. Mm-hmm. The only one known. That card to me is fascinating from a storytelling perspective. That, it got the white suit refractor if you were to send it in, I think numbered to 188 or whatever it is. But when I looked at that, I said, oh, that's the first NBA card ever made of LeBron James.
Okay. And not really. It's like an oddball.
Exactly. But it's that story that is more interesting to me than the actual white suit refractor.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, by comparison, when I was a kid, 1992, Upper Deck, the first Shaq card was the thing that said Upper Deck, and it's got a shadow dunking on the wall. It was the Shaq Upper Deck #1 redemption. Same premise. You know what I mean?
That's it, right?
Yeah, that's the card.
Yeah, that's it. I thought when I saw that, I was like, the story behind this card is better than any LeBron card I've ever seen before.
The story is some idiot should have redeemed it and didn't.
Or that it was pulled after the fact.
Yeah. Potentially. Maybe less of an idiot, yes.
To be fair, that is the Panini redemptions now are just like a piece of paper. There is a little originality that comes with that too.
Looking a numbered refractor. When was a numbered refractor redemption? When was the last time you saw a numbered redemption?
You're right. I don't want it. To pull up the 92 Upper Deck redemption. No, it's not about shiny.
He just one shiny card right now.
I've seen him. I've seen them done. I've seen it's just done, but that's numbered and it's refractor. I get it. You want to make the story about it being LeBron but I can tell you, I know from a pop perspective that the unredeemed Shaq 1992 Upper Deck card #1 is less pop than the redeemed ones are, but it doesn't sell for more money.
Of course, and neither does this.
But you just like that it's got a story to it.
I think the story makes it better.
I don't know, man. I think when you get into the storytelling, and I love how you do it, when you get into the storytelling, you are in a slippery slope, right? It's almost like creating a market for something, which is fine. With price discovery, you have to create a market. You have to teach people about, ticket stubs or, other things that are out there. But, when you run into this whole all right, well, there's only 3 of these. Well, how do you know? Or there's probably only 1 of these. How do you know? I mean, you people, I'm not saying you, but the storytellers take liberties sometimes. I had to fly to Dubai to get this one, or I mean, come on. So I mean,
I think it's sort of an unfortunate thing where it's like people, and I've been accused of pumping things that I don't even own. That's always the funniest thing. Like most of the stuff I share, I don't own, and I have no interest in buying. Like that LeBron refractor, I have no interest in buying.
It's a cool story,
but I have all the interest in telling that story because I think it adds to the collective of, collectibles content that I'm making and that is out there. Because if anybody is just stumbling on that, I'm not suggesting that anybody buys this thing. I'm just suggesting that they think like, oh, like, literally my goal is that somebody's watching that and they're like, huh, that's all I want. I want that little huh. That's all I want.
I get it.
And,
listen, I get it.
You know, but the you know, accusations of like the pumping stuff, I understand why somebody would say that, and I think the same thing when I see other people make certain content around things that I know that they collect or own. But oftentimes people really just love it. Like, you wouldn't say that to somebody who is showing off their own art, or you wouldn't say it to somebody who's showing off their worthless collection of things.
Right. I mean, listen, Buster, I hear what you're saying. I have friends who show off their pictures of their children all the time, and some of their kids are hideous. But to them, they're gorgeous kids, you know?
They're not even numbered.
And they're not numbered. There's not, like, your kid's not a refractor. You should have redeemed that. You should have sent that. To Tops.
Redeemed child.
How is like telling a story about a modern car different than telling the story about Mantle and how people put his cards in spokes and, you know, he dove into the Hudson River with Marilyn Monroe to catch his cards?
It's not. And it's all the same. It's all part of the same thing. It's all part of the same.
It was just the older, you know, it's like that time feels so far in the past. Yep. I remember 2002.
Wagner too. Wagner's the same. Wagner, you know, tell a story why it's rare.
I mean, look, the fact of the matter is every vintage card was modern at one point. Sure. The Mantle was modern when the Wagner was vintage. How crazy is that to think about?
I remember the first price guide I picked up in the 80s said the Honus Wagner car was worth $75,000. I remember that. And Eddie Plank was worth $50,000. There's been a lot of separation between the two.
People just think planking is back when you say that.
He was a very good pitcher who won a lot of games.
Rick Probstein showed me a catalog at one point. I think it was Christie's or one of the major auction houses where they were selling, this was pre-PSA, where they were selling Wagners and Mantles, and their estimates were like in the single-digit thousands. And I was,
yeah, I mean, but so that's a good part, Buster, and I'm glad you're on to tell it, right? So a couple things. Buster's been on 3 times. We have him on. We're going to talk about his NFTs. We're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff. But guys, Buster, some mistake it for low energy, and we've got people who are like, you know, lip readers who watch our show. They watch the Sasha one, and they're like, oh man, Cage is telling he's low energy. Yeah, Cage is telling him what he doesn't want to hear. Look at the energy from Sasha. Buster's not low energy.
He's from the West Coast. What do you want?
What Buster's bringing here is, whether you realize it or not.
Coast.
Sasha. No, Sasha. But this is somebody who has what I'm going to consider wisdom beyond your years. You're looking at everything with a huge, super wide lens. I think it's what made you successful in your business. I think it's what continues to make you successul. You're not getting bogged down in the ups and the downs. We try to tell our listeners the same thing, right? So don't confuse this for low energy. Confuse this for realize what it is. It's somebody who's taking a long-term view and sitting back and reading the tea leaves, checking out the signals, watching the ebbs and flows. And just like, I mean, I'd love to know what you bought, what it was that was down 40 or 50% for your collection, if you don't mind sharing. I've done the same thing in the last couple of weeks because the
only problem is if I say it, people will think I'm pumping.
You're pumping, exactly.
Like, as much as I want to tell you the things that I'm buying, I have no interest in selling it, and I'm also trying to buy more.
All right, so forget it.
Well, I did want to ask Buster. So Buster moderated, I think it was 2 panels at VCon, and 4. One was about specifically collecting with Jeremy Padower, right?
And Josh Luber.
And Josh, what was? So I didn't make it down. We were working the booth, but like, can you share some of the insights with our audience? Because I thought it was kind of cool to have, even just the panel and how it was assembled.
Those guys are infinitely wiser than I, and I hope to be like them one day. Josh founded StockX, is now the head of Zero Cool and the Fanatics collectibles side. Jeremy Padower, has been part of acquisitions in the last 2 years alone of, $100 million plus brands like Squishmallows and Cocomelon, has been involved in the Pokemon franchise and helped bring it to where it is today. And Gareb Shamus bought Comic-Con for $100,000 and is also to credit for Marvel's revival, because he was asked when the new president took over, when they were in bankruptcy difficulties, they were having bad time. The president asked Gareb how they should revive the brand, and he said movies start with Spider-Man. And that movie then went on to make about $400 million, and they were back on course.
One movie revived them.
Spider-Man, yeah.
The first Spider-Man movie was huge.
Yeah, it was a big deal. And now, obviously, they made probably more than 100 billion gross on movies. I don't know what the number is, but a lot of money. And so, it's a lot of the same stuff. We were talking about the ebbs and flows of the market. The video will be out for that at some point. But Josh was talking about, in his time at StockX, just supply and demand type stuff, and how much control the certain companies have in the market. My rewording of their answers will be much worse than their actual. So I definitely suggest people watch that when it comes out. But I will say they're all genius and understand the market and understand that it's long term, but also that it's a business, and they know all three of them how to capitalize on it.
One lesson I'll pass to you, Cage, that I learned from Jeremy is just to have. He looks like he's having like infinite fun with everything he does.
So does Buster. Now let me ask Buster.
Jeremy's been having fun a lot longer than I have.
Well, you'll get there, and I think Jeremy. Look, Jeremy. I want to use lucky. Jeremy was very smart. Jeremy was when people were not doing it, he was basically cyber squatting. He was buying domain names and doing all that fun stuff, and then taking businesses, you name it. When people were not
in like fights with Elon Musk buying domain.
Yeah,
Jeremy,
way back then. Yeah,
as OG of a believer as they are.
Yeah, he told that story on our show, Andrew. And so, but you were building, Hoops Nation when everybody else was still wasting their bar mitzvah money on something else. You know what I mean? So you
like, pretty much the only other types of pages on Facebook when I started were like dog pages.
Yeah. So I mean,
can I just real quick?
Yeah.
Dunk, you outlasted Dunk, and I know Dunk is your boy, but you should take a little pat on your back because I know you guys compete. Dunk used to be awesome, and Hoops Nation was awesome, and it was like a 2-horse race. And if my vote counts for anything, Hoops Nation has passed them. So,
I love them.
Tell him what his vote counts for, Buster. No, but point being, listen. When you sell this podcast, when you finally let us out, I mean, we have a lot of people who are trying to buy it, Buster. I'm going sure you know that. But when Andrew finally says, "Okay, that was enough money. That offer was enough," I'm gonna have fun too. I'm gonna be following Buster. We're gonna go play basketball with the Knicks. I'm gonna be all over the place, man. But right now, I can't do that.
Don't judge if I don't know. Well, the whole. You're right. Don't judge. I take it back.
I'm listening. No, not Dunk, dummy. Dude, oh, dude. So here, I'm gonna tell you, right? Because you have wisdom well beyond your years, and you kind of see things before people do. Gary V has that. Jeremy has that. A lot of the guests we have on, you're able to kind of spot things before other people spot them.
I learned it from those guys, so.
And we're all trying to learn it from you, and the people listening and watching are as well. It's why we bring you on. You have not run from NFTs, right? And a lot of people have. A lot of people are saying this is no. And I'd like to just right off the bat, you buy cards, you own cards. You're going to own cards that you never want to sell. You buy, historical artifacts that you are going to keep for yourself. You want to own them. And at the same time, you have a collection that pairs Abraham Lincoln and George Washington autographs with crypto and NFTs. That is going to blow people's minds because, a lot of them think it's one or the other. And you're not an idiot. So tell me why. Tell me why NFTs are not like the newest fad. They're not, Beanie Babies and Pogs and whatever else, people compare them to. Tell me what your thought is and why this is something you still are, investing in.
So first off, let's not rule out the possibility that I'm an idiot because that's definitely plausible. But I do it because I enjoy it, right? I enjoy Abraham Lincoln and George Washington stuff. It makes me happy. I love the history. Like I'm sure I said when I first bought it, when I came on here, if I've been on since then, it's like, my passion for it. And from an investment standpoint, for me, I looked at like what I could get in cards for the same dollar amount. And then I looked at what I could get there, and it just made a lot of sense on that side. So that was, that helped me sleep after purchasing some of that stuff. And then, on the NFT front, so many of my good friends have projects and are involved in the space. So I am surrounded by it. And I had no choice, the same way as on the physical collectible side with certain stuff. And that's how I got into the presidential stuff. I just started hanging out with guys who were into that stuff. And I'll say this too on the presidential side. When we talked about buying businesses, to me, an Abraham Lincoln, document that has association to the Gettysburg War and the document that I recently bought it was a military promotion. The document was started before the Gettysburg Address and signed and approved by Lincoln after the Gettysburg Address. That kind of stuff to me screams, okay, this is something that could be in a museum one day. And that's what gets me excited about that. And then on the crypto and NFT side, it's the next iteration of collectibles. There's no doubt in my mind, sort of the benefits. And I'm trying to, pave that way through, my own project, as well as, supporting those of my friends. And, I'm just obsessed with the concept of utility. And I said this on stage, even when we were with Josh and Jeremy and those guys and Gareb. You buy a Michael Jordan jersey, you're not guaranteed access to meet Michael Jordan. You're guaranteed nothing except for the jersey that you bought, assuming that it's real. And, whereas Tom Brady releases an NFT that you get, a digital art collectible that was approved by Tom Brady, but all of a sudden you get to go play catch with Tom Brady.
Does it bother you when words have meaning, right? And like if you and I have we have a word and we have different meanings for it, it could be difficult to have communication. So why I ask that is your NFT is different than a raccoon with 67 different colors and traits, but we all group that into an NFT. That Tom Brady, I would consider that a digital collectible with an experience attached, right? It shouldn't be in the same bucket as a PFP. Same with yours. Like you're a digital collectible that has real world utility attached.
Oh, I appreciate the endorsement. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's true versus like a PFP of a raccoon or a snake.
Look, there's trash everywhere you look. There's trash on Instagram. There's trash in Facebook groups. There's trash everywhere that all of us collectors are. And NFTs are definitely no exception to that. A lot of people are just trying to make a quick buck and are convincing and manipulative and get people to buy these projects and have fake followers and fake likes and have no intentions of providing long-term value and just do it over and over again under anonymous names. It's why, I say to anybody just getting into the space, only buy from doxed founders who have something to lose. Because if I fail, it's on me and everybody knows it's on me and I'm willing to get up and say that it was on me. Whereas with an anonymous founder, they can't do that. They can disappear and go to Bali with the $3 million that they just raised on this mint of 60 different colored raccoons.
Grifters.
Right? So what I say to everybody is only buy from doxed founders who really have something to lose. It's my advice for everybody in the space. And, don't put in more than you want to lose because you're probably going to lose it. It is to an extent also gambling, just like investing in a startup, just like buying non-museum quality items. It's all a gamble, but we're having fun doing it. And we do it because we love it. But on the NFT side, I think it really is buying into business. I think, Bored Ape Yacht Club is a great example of something that started out as, if it never took off, it would have been another rug pull. Reason being, if they didn't have all that money, they wouldn't have been able to execute on the things that they did. So oftentimes you're just betting that they're going to get enough momentum to get enough capital to be able to do something cool and then execute on that. So a lot of rug pulls, people projects that didn't really work out, could have been $1 million away from being the next Bored Ape Yacht Club. You just don't know. And that's sort of fun to me. And I only buy projects that I like from dox founders, with the exception of MFers, because I just thought it was funny and stupid. And I am an idiot on that one, certified.
It's all good. It's cool. You got the little smoking, the keyboarding MFer. It's okay. No worries.
It was 18,000. I didn't buy 18,000. I bought it around where it is now, but 18,000 to 2,000. So
it happens. That's the space, though. It's what you're saying. It's price discovery. It's craziness. It's it's people are gambling and doing
everyone
that
is an idiot, and anybody that tells
I'm
you
gonna blow your mind
is lying.
on the Bored Apes, right? And other ones like the Bored Apes, right? Bored Apes. I almost respond to every single one of them. I see so many messages, so many tweets from people who are like, "Here's my biggest loss. I minted 150 Bored Apes. I minted 200 Bored Apes. I sold them all for under 1 ETH. I sold them all for blah blah blah." Guess what? You didn't miss out on this. If you would have held those, if everyone who writes that would have held those, Bored Apes would not have become Bored Apes. It's exactly what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
The fact that they sold them and someone else bought them and someone else bought them and there was that churn and these people who bought 150 sold 99 to other people. One, celebrities were able to get in and probably buy one of yours that you would have been holding. But two, it's that ETH, it's that amount of money that was churning in the secondary market on that climb up that gave Yuga Labs the money to build it into what it is now. So it's
That's
funny.
exactly it. And the founders have acknowledged that too. They've credited specific individuals who had 30, 40, 50 that sold and said, we wouldn't have been able to get to where we are without those people selling.
Yep.
So hoarding is...
You had flippers, investors, and collectors in that system at one point, and they all kind of worked together, right? Because the flippers were the one that churned a lot of the volume in the beginning.
Yep. Yeah.
You need people willing to sell over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, and it's interesting stuff, man. But I like yours. We're going to talk about yours for a second. Guys, everybody go take a look at it's TBS, The Buster Show, utility mics. If you type utility on OpenSea, it's probably the first one that's going to pop up for you anyway.
It's number one search result for utility.
So you type utility. And listen, when Andrew started talking about, hey, we have different definitions of things, this is where I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to say, well, everybody's different definition of utility. I like to, put it down with bare bones. I'm getting something out of it. You know what I mean? That's the utility, right? And what I like about Busters is, even though he released it a little bit after hours, it's kind of what we were looking to do also, kind of a combination between the physical and the digital, right? You buy the NFT, we're going to send you something physical. We're going to do something in the physical world. It's not just everybody strap on your Oculus and go, hang out in a fancy Zoom. Credit to Chris Hodge and Josh. You guys invented it's a fancy Zoom. I will give you credit for it, although I disagree. So people who have cigars on their Tigers get to come and have a cigar with me at the National. I'm doxxed. Andrew's doxxed. If somebody shows me I'm a Tiger holder and sees me at in Atlantic City at the National, I can't say, oh, no cigar for you. No, you're getting a date. Let's go. We're going to hang out. Let's go to Boardwalk. Let's go to beach.
You just don't know what's in the cigar.
Yeah, no, that's Andrew's cigar. Very different. Very different cigar.
Candy cigar.
You've gone a step further. You have, these, it's almost gift goatee, if I'm going to make a comparison to something people in the NFT world might know. But everyone gets it, not just the gift goats. People who own your utility mics get physical packages. I am the proud owner of 5 utility mics. I got a package here.
Right.
I'm going to open this up. I have no idea what's in this.
One is associated with Darren Ravel's episode. So one day Darren Ravel comes to Cage's house, knocks.
That would be awesome.
One thing that I'll say first, too, is, utility comes in all shapes and sizes, and I wanted to hit all of those. So that's why every holder gets early access to every podcast episode with guys like, Tracy and Grady. I interviewed Adam Sandler and Anthony Edwards yesterday, so real fun people who, get
Adam Sandler and Anthony Edwards
for the new The Hustle on Netflix.
Together?
The Hustle.
Separately, but it'll be a part of the same thing because I didn't get that much time with them. But
that'd be an interesting episode.
Yeah, and Kenny Smith and Juancho Hernan Gomez because he was the co-star in the movie too.
Juancho! So, and guys, on the Discord, what Buster's saying is I get to listen to the Tracy McGrady episode before anybody else because I'm a microphone. Right. That's utility. That's an example of utility.
And then another example is, through all the partners. So one thing I'll say about this specific package, so partnered with a few different people, one of which artist Blake Jameson. So everybody gets Project 70, Project 2020 card that he gave for all the holders. Stuff from my personal collection that I pick out and go to shows. Literally, when I go to shows now, I'm shopping for mic holders pretty much. That's pretty cool. So that's sort of how I look at it too.
For Buster, he'll not do a good job of tooting his own horn, so I'm going to do it. This is the second one I've gotten already for owning the utility mics. The first one was amazing. It had a watch ring in it that my son loves wearing. It's like a watch ring, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And Australian coins and cards. But went a step further with the second one. I had to fill out a questionnaire which allowed you to remain anonymous if that's what you want to be, just make sure you know where you're sending it to, and ask things like your size, which mine was larger than average, in many ways. Andrew, get your mind out of the
larger
gutter.
than
So, and like, who's your favorite team? Who's I like the Yankees, like the Raiders. I mean, like, ask like specific pointed questions, which is really cool because it shows that you don't want to just provide utility and say, here you go, here's the extras. I bought these at a card show. I'm dumping my Ben Simmons cards.
Very personalized. That's the plan. And also, awesome. To get people access, like, one day I want to have a sneaker with Nike, and guess who the first people will be when that day comes, or whatever it is, right? I just want to reward this, which is part of a project called The Buster Show, which is my podcast that I will do for the rest of my life. So
listen, I love it. And guys, we have I'll take a second before I show these things off. It's what Andrew and I were doing with ours also. We wanted to obviously copy some of the earlier ones that are out there. We didn't know how many you could do, how you could release them a million different ways. We just tried. And people have been really great buying these and supporting us and saying, hey, you guys have put out almost 700 episodes already, plus whatnot, you name it. And, this is like, it's like a Patreon, or, you haven't asked for $1. So people who were like, all right, it's 0.06 is $180, $200, gladly. It's pennies per episode. Go right ahead. We'd love it. It's the best thing I bought. We want to make sure you guys know we love you, support you. And
thank goodness you got all your mics at 0.05.
I'm smart, but I mean, listen. You came in and I said, all right, this guy
0.5 now. Last I checked,
it was like 1. I mean, these things are a hot commodity, man. And the new ones that get released now, they're not sold at anywhere near what I paid for them. So,
do you think floor price is a good testament for, or like is that the metric, like, or how often people sell? Like, what's the metric with NFTs, right?
It depends on the project. If it's a 10,000 project, then yeah. But if it's like mine, where there are only 65 holders and nobody wants to sell, then obviously, activity isn't as good of a metric.
I mean, listen, I love it. It's like I never get to like just buy random stuff, and I try to do like gifts for myself. So this is a cool thing because it's like, all right, I'm gonna get a gift, and I don't know what the hell it is. It's like a little surprise,
and for people who own more than one mics, their packages are loaded.
Boom. So. Yeah, and guys, so big thank you on ours, and big thank you on this one. Check it out. Check out the utility mics of Buster, and I'm gonna start off here. These were just right on the top here. So he is trying to expose his folks here to different types of collectibles. I got some coins here. This looks like a 1960 penny from Canada. We got the queen on there, a little maple leaf in the back.
There you go.
And we got a 1950 Germany. Wow, look at that. It's a little smaller.
I don't even really remember what's in your package, so this is
nice.
As fresh to you as it is to me.
That's cool with the little 1 on there. And we got a 1931 US penny. Let's get the old 1 cent on the back.
Is it a wheat penny?
It may be. It doesn't say wheat penny on it.
Does it have like a wheat sticks on the back?
No. No.
The back?
Yeah, it's got the 1 cent sign. You
Okay.
know, the 1 cent on it.
Yep.
It's funny you didn't know this because it's not in the thing, but I have a humongous penny collection.
Really?
No baloney. So my father collected. I had like the books, the old U.S. Mint books, starting from like 18 and change all the way up. There's a couple missing because there were like some double die ones and some different mints from different, like Denver and San Francisco, that are a little rarer that he never got, I guess, when he collected them. But I have like books from the mint that you fill in with the penny. So we'll see if I need a 1931. I got it.
Awesome.
Now these, I know this autograph already. That's Blake Jameson signed the Project 2020 stuff. This is also personal to me because Project 2020 was one of the ones that ran up that I actually was able to capitalize on a little bit. So that was fun. I was actually able to sell a couple that did not. Oh, this is a good one too. So I was
Mike Trout.
I was upset that I sold one of these. I got a little. This is the Trout. I got it back. So I sold a little Trout Blake James.
That's a great one. It's such a good looking card. He crushed that.
And what was cool about this, there was a lot of lead up to this. This was the 100th card, if I remember right, that they put in the project. They gave Blake the card number 100. Yeah, card number 100. That's right there numbered. It's the 100th card. It was like the Centennial card. By the way, guys, Buster's having more fun watching this reveal than I am. It's amazing. I love it. And this. I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but this is why collectibles will always survive. You know, I don't know about NFTs. So I still have plenty of them myself, but this is why. I mean, and I never owned this one, and that's awesome. Look at that. Out of Ted Williams.
Card.
Little Ted
That's
Williams. That's a cool card.
The
Blake
art
does-
is sweet too.
Blake does a good job. He does a very good job with this
He's
stuff.
the man. He's also, I'll say this too, the nicest, most humble dude for how talented he is. If I was as talented as him, my ego would be through the roof.
So 2 things from Blake. We got to meet him. Andrew found him at like a late night thing in at National, and we were hanging out and they were showing the artwork up. And one of the guys who worked with him gave me an Aaron Judge signed like out of 10. Blake Jameson piece for my son. So he's got that in his collection, never to be sold. And second, one of the best things that we got from Blake is a line that we use often. Andrew, you want to tell Buster what the line is? Yeah. What's the line?
It's a good one. It's a good one. As you're like,
it's a great line.
In business, people come at you from all different directions, established companies, startups, and you kind of want to help them all. Some of them you believe in the company, some of them you believe in the people. So it's, I either do it for free or for full price.
Not at a discount. Like if I work, I'll do it for free, or I'm doing it for full price. I love that. I love that quote, and I know he explained why, and it makes all the sense in the world. Check this out. This is classic. I know this from 1995. That's a Jason Kidd classic wearing his Cal Bears uniform. That's pretty sweet.
Love it.
This I could probably sell this for $1 million today to Amber Heard. You got a little 21 Jump Street Johnny Depp pack of cards. There's gum in here. Does anybody want me to open this and eat the gum?
Johnny Depp?
Is that the original?
21 Jump Street is Johnny Depp.
No way.
It's Johnny Depp, 100%.
What great timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. 21 Jump Street is Johnny Depp. That's 100%.
In the world right now.
That's it. Little stick of gum right there.
That's awesome.
Skybox. Open these boxes with my son. These are awesome. Everybody knows the Skybox. Inaugural edition of Skybox. And, you recognize this from the Bleecker Street hat. Not that they took their inspiration from this at all. That Skybox hat that they have, because then Mark might run into some trouble. But we got a little Fleer Ultra Baseball Series 2. Little 93. That's good stuff right there. Oh, man, it's like a stack of cards here. I got a Kemba Walker. That's awesome.
That I know is a numbered rookie.
Panini Innovation out of 199. Check it out. It's like one of those like see-through kind of deals. That's awesome.
I love those.
That is sweet. We got a little Haunter Hollow. Nice. You probably don't know this, but Andrew, you're gonna laugh. Why is this the best card in the bunch? It's
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen.
He loves Jared Allen.
My son loves Jared Allen.
He loves Jared Allen. Yeah, he has a Jared Allen jersey.
I should include a question on the next package if somebody has kids and what they like, because I want to incorporate that.
This is sick. So you want to know what's funny is I need this in a PSA 10. I never owned this card. So I started collecting a couple years after this, and I was able to trade for the 82 tops Cal Ripken, but not the traded. And the traded was always more because it was by itself. This is pretty cool. I always wanted one of these.
I accidentally hit all of these points.
Yeah, man. You did. You nailed it.
It kind of reminds me of, you remember Dollar Shave Club? They'd have you subscribe for $15.99 and you'd get this stuff in the mail, right? Like this is kind of like a care package in the mail. You don't really know what you get, but honestly, if it's even half thought out like yours is, you're gonna hit. You're gonna make people happy because it's just the randomness.
I remember this card from 1993 Upper Deck. I actually opened this card. So they used to have in. So this is Jordan Wilkins. This was like an additional card they put in Upper Deck in 93 because they had, I think it was 92 Upper Deck, had a 15,000 point club set where everybody who had scored 15,000 points, but Wilkins and Jordan both cleared 20,000 that year. So they made this card for those with the active players who passed 20,000. They were on the card together. So it's pretty cool, Jordan and Wilkins. And I got a Justin Bieber hugging me on his card here.
First edition Justin Bieber.
First print right there. Little Justin Bieber from Panini.
By Panini, which is so crazy.
There we go. We're almost done here, folks. I don't want to lose you. I got a Nick in his Hawks uniform. That's a PSA 10 Cam Reddish from Select rookie right there. Hey, now. I got a Zion rookie Emergent. I got a 91 Hoops Jordan. This is nice stuff. I see Simon and Schuster on this. Let's see what we got here. Oh, nice. So I have a Buster sketch of a utility mic. That is sweet. Like that with a little thank you signed by Buster here, right? That's nice. And one last piece. I have a book plate President Jimmy Carter autograph. Pretty nice.
That's a good one. The funny thing about Jimmy Carter, probably the most impressive post-presidency in American history.
Did more after being president than when he was president, and
Yep.
almost got it right. The president who was in office when I was born, almost correct. Almost correct.
One before, one after.
So he was elected when I was a couple of weeks old. So I was born in October of '76. So Gerald Ford was still president, but a couple months in, Carter started the January of '77. So I was a couple months old.
Now we got a Carter in your collection.
There we go. Presidents, baby.
Yeah, I love this stuff.
This is cool stuff. And anybody who's out there on like NFT world, this is not thousands of dollars, but it's pretty nice, right? And think about what I put in on this, right? And I'm not saying investment wise the whole deal, but I put in 0.05 times 5, a quarter of an ETH. And ETH was a little higher at the time, but we're talking about it's probably about $1,000. Gas was crazy at the time, but let's just say $1,000, $1,200. Mm-hmm. I'm Buster's doing this shit forever. I'm gonna be dead. He's still gonna be doing his podcast. So
literally
best investment ever.
Well, you're gonna live to 150, but I will be doing this until then.
Nice. I love it. All right, Andrew, what else you want to do? Because I think that's a ringing endorsement for NFTs.
I'm
the
just
right
thinking
kind of
NFTs. I'm thinking of President Carter. I'm like, is there going to be a Lil Wayne autograph in the next care package?
Nice.
That's
the real Mr. Carter.
And
I get it.
I was going to go to eBay. I was hoping you guys would keep talking, and I wanted to see how much a Lil Wayne or Dwayne Carter would he send Lil Wayne. Now I'm all confused. Anyway, I wanted to ask you one thing. What you've done really well, and I guess where we are, is you build community. I think if there's one way, all this is all about community. You got to get to know the people that are buying the utility monks. What are they about? What's their demo? Like you engage know each other personally, but you get to know the community. You have Hoops Nation, you have Cards Nation, you have the Buster Show. They're all sort of kind of next to each other. Do they overlap? And how? Because you're building kind of like a conglomerate, of media accounts. And I'm curious how those communities, how you manage them, because it's a lot just in general to build one community. And now I feel like you have 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's a good question. I try to make everything overlap because they cross benefit each other. Like when I agreed to do the Crew League, it was the most obvious thing in the world because I wanted to have more rappers on my podcast and basketball crossover. So it made sense for them too on that front. And then all of a sudden, I was next to Jack Harlow and Drake. And I was like, oh, okay, this worked out all right. And then it benefits, everything I do and talk about, on any front. It legitimizes both myself to specific people that, weren't privy or didn't care, or not that they should have, but, it opens doors that weren't, open prior. Everything does, right? Like when I do stuff with the NBA, when I do the broadcasting, anything. But to answer your question, it is very much part of the thought. I'm in terms of managing it, I have a team, fortunately, that does most things. I really, personally, I don't do anything pretty much. It's like some idea, like people always say,
he's being modest. People do not believe this.
It's like a day, an ideal day is one where you make very, very few decisions, but they have a great impact. That's what I try to do. And the rest is just keeping myself physically and mentally conditioned. So I work out once or twice a day. I spend
every day. No days off season.
I literally don't take. People think that's a joke. I don't know why. I literally don't take a day off.
We don't. Look at this podcast.
And I know that's why I love you guys. That you guys are crushing it for that reason. But
the reason I don't take a day off is I'm worried that if I take a day off, it'll lead to 3. Well, if I could be truthful.
It's funny because that's exactly why I started No Days Off Season. Because if you don't allow yourself that excuse, all of a sudden it's not a part of your mind. And it's not about not taking a day off. It's about not taking the day off that you want to take off, but you shouldn't take off. That's what No Days Off Season is about. And it's applicable to anything in relationships, family, sports, business, working out. That's what it is. And eventually I'll start the No Days Off Season brand. And, that'll be another sector of what it all is. But my goal is for everything to, sort of cross over for my investments in U-Ball and pop-up bagels. I just like bagels. Darren Ravel and I invested in that together. It's my favorite investment we've done together.
Are they that good?
Dude, they're the best bagel. They won best bagel at Brooklyn's Bagel Fest, and they're not even from New York. Think about how crazy that is for a second. A New York bagel forum and panel voted a Connecticut bagel the best bagel at Brooklyn Bagel Fest.
Cage, have you had them?
No. Darren and I are not what you would call simpatico. Although I would love to.
Darren doesn't run pop-up bagels.
He does. Darren. I think about Darren way more than he thinks about me. I can guarantee you that, and not in a filthy way, Darren. I'm a fan of this guy. He knows what he's doing. Trust me, he knows what he's doing. Pop-up bagels. I have never had one. I have had Vadim's bagels, Bagel Master, and they're decent. I'd be curious where Pop-up Bagels gets their water from, because that is, I believe, what matters in any dough product.
When did you figure that out, Buster? You figured out what you do really well, and then you're like, this is my core niche, this is my core stuff, and then I just need to get my mind. Like, when did you get to that point? And because you've been doing this for a minute.
I don't think about myself in those sorts of terms. I just think about it in like, what do I enjoy the most? And then how do I do more of that? And then sort of everything takes care of itself. When I was in high school, I won best broadcaster in the country for high school. And I didn't think that I was that good of a broadcaster. I just enjoyed doing it. And that's why I continue to do it. And like you, Hoops Nation, I hit like 500,000 followers at like age 15 or 16. I didn't think that I was that good at it. I just enjoyed doing it. And I think it was great too, because like everything in retrospect went perfect. Like I was super bullied for having started these like sports accounts and media pages when I was still in school. And like when I told people I wasn't going to college, like people were like, oh, he's going to be, broke and homeless in 2 years, whatever it is.
People say that because you started clipping NBA highlights?
No. It wasn't. I mean, it's not.
How did they not see it?
Well, things were different back then. A, and B, going to college was like you have to do this type thing. And I just sort of skipped caring about school. Not that that's a good thing by any means, but I wasn't a good student. But I'm only good at what I'm passionate about. So if I'm not passionate about something, I'm going to suck at it. And if I'm not passionate about it, I'm going to be a little bit better at it. And be a lot better at it over a long period of time. But, I think, people didn't see it. People didn't see it, but they're not supposed to. If everybody saw it, then it wouldn't be worth achieving.
There's another line. Put that next to the Blake Jameson line. If everybody saw it, it wouldn't be worth achieving.
I asked you in 2020 when we first had you on the show, what do you see yourself in 10 years? And you replied in 2030. Now if I ask you that, you can't have the same reply because you're a math guy.
I'm actually not a math guy, but that's funny.
No, you said because it was the way he asked it. It says, tell me what 10 years from now looks like. And you said 2030. Yeah, it was deadpan. It was amazing.
But now I can't say that. I've been waiting for this moment.
I can't say 2030 because it'll be 2032.
Exactly. That's why. That's it. You can't give the same answer. What do you hope to accomplish over those next 10? I think was what he's trying to ask.
I hope to make a lot of people happy, entertained, make a lot of people a lot of money, hopefully. In not saying that has anything to do with the NFT project, but, and just whatever I do, whatever business I'm involved in, I want to have an impact, that is beneficial. I don't want to waste anybody's time, and just try to be as efficient, effective as possible, and stay healthy. That's probably number one. But yeah.
So you have a lot of talents, but one thing I really see in you is you're able to pull in mentorship, and I think a part of that is like, from what I've seen, is you're very coachable. Like a lot of the people that are around you, I feel like one, you're willing to learn from them. And if you kind of look at your network, your mentor circle, we say like you are who your friends are. I mean, your mentor circle is legit. It's as good as it gets. And I think I'm curious. I mean, if you have a take on how you've been able to build that, whether that's unconsciously or you're on purpose, but like, I think it's because of how coachable you are and how willing you are to learn.
I think in that, example in business, in anything, the best relationship is a symbiotic one. So if you can be of value to them in any way, shape, or form that they can't do already on their own, then it's going to be organic. The reason why I love doing collectibles videos of other people's cards is because they get free marketing for their card, and I get content that I can monetize of something that I didn't even have to buy. And it's that symbiosis that makes it so perfect, where both parties feel like they're getting a steal on, they're very happy with their side of the trade, and no money was exchanged. So I think, for like mentorship for younger folks or older folks or friends or whomever it is that is sort of looking for that. I also think the concept of like mentorship is so like ridiculous. It's not a job. It's like a made up concept. I think it's just having good friends that you are interested in, and that's what that means. Like, I don't consider, myself a mentor to anybody younger. I'm just a friend. And friends help out friends because you like them.
And it's not BS. He's not just blowing smoke. I'm looking to buy a Lincoln thing. I messaged Buster, and he's like, okay, for that kind of money, you should be looking for this, this, and this. You should be getting a full piece, not this.
Good one though. You bought that, right?
Yeah. With your advice and help. He really does it. I mean, he speaks it. So, Buster, if I'm allowed, and I am because it's my show, not yours, and I have the microphone, and you will listen to every word I have to say.
Kate, you're the talent, man. Other than the intros, people come for me, they stay for you.
No, not true. They're staying for people like Buster. But here's the question I have. While our audience is diverse and vast, and people do NFTs, people do collect different things, the vast majority of people who are out there are people who are in the hobby. They are sports car collectors, which you count yourself a member of, right? Mm-hmm. And most of them. Not all, but most of them are people who got in to items that we would call middle of the road items, buying from the last year. And there's one thing I know about you, and it's not to shit on people. It's you're honest, right? And we've had enough guests on here like Dave Kohler, who's we're able to tap into, who own SCP Auctions. He's been 40 years. And he could tell people, don't worry, the hobby has ups and downs. And there's enough people who have said that, right? And it's great for people to hear. Do you agree with that? Like, I know you're never going to blow smoke up somebody's ass. So what would you tell somebody if it was a friend, someone who had access to you and sent you a DM and said, hey, by the way, here's what I bought over the last year. And it's a bunch of, low end, middle road prospect, baseball, basketball, football, not the top flight guys, definitely not museum quality stuff. And they're asking you point blank, should I just liquidate all this stuff, or do you think I should be holding this? You think I should sell, get whatever I can, and put it into something else? And then what is that something else? I put you on the spot because
here's the picture that I'll paint, and it is that of picture like a stock chart or like a crypto chart. The support level is the PC collectors and the people who are in it for the love of the game, and it will never drop below that level until those people are dead.
Right.
Everything else is the flippers. And that depends on the content and of what the card is. Yep. The super high-end stuff, like I said earlier, amazing. The rest is just pure speculation and gambling. So, I'm sort of in a unique position where I don't have anything to sell. I don't sell my collectibles really. I definitely, I don't have an auction house or anything like that.
Yet.
Yeah, one day. That is something that I thought about. It would be a lot of fun. One day.
Because like what Buster said, the floor is the price, right? So we'll use two cards. Cage and I talked about them the other day. The Jordan Fleer PSA 10, that card went, 40 to 700. but it's a $200,000, $250,000 card, right? So that 250 to 700 was the flip, but you use the Zion base Prism, which that card is now a $30 card. That card, because there is no collector base for Zion base, is now half the price it was before this whole thing started.
That's a bit of a complex example too, just because of the overprinting. Like at that point, that like then was further down. But yeah, I mean that's definitely a unique one. But I totally agree. I think the point stands.
Cage, any final questions? Final words?
No, big thank you, guys. If you weren't watching this on YouTube, at least take a look at this shot of me opening up the utility mic package that I got here. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning, even though I don't know what it is, and even though I was not hoping for pennies from Germany. I'm gonna go look them up now and figure out what the hell it is, and it's part of the fun of this. And it's one of those things where, like, before you crap on NFTs and that space, there are people doing it differently. And I think it's because of stuff like that it's a space that I think is here to stay. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for that, Darren. You cannot have your utility mic because look at the utility it provides for me. I'm sorry, you can't have it. Now maybe I'll get
National. You gonna be there?
Of course, I'll be there. I'll be there probably at least half the week. At least half the week. Probably the whole week.
Well, we can't get him to tell us what he's buying because he wants to buy more. We can't get him to admit that people should probably sell most of the stuff they bought in the last couple of years. What else?
I feel like I said that. I feel like I said that. But I gave context as to why.
Yep.
And just it's all about understanding. You should never put in more than you're willing to lose. And judge it based on those support levels of.
So listen, you are Mr. Cool. You're a cool hand buster over here. Nothing's phasing you. Look at you spent an hour with us. You basically have not shown any emotion at all, but I'm going to see if I can get you to blush.
No emotion?
I got a comment. You ready?
No way.
No,
you know what Tim Grover says about emotions, Cage?
It gets in the way?
Winning won't make you emotionless, but it'll make you use your emotions less.
I like that. So I just mean you're a metronome, man. Nothing's going to get you too high. Nothing's going to get you too low. You just go, which is.
What's to credit for that, by the way?
Being born in October.
No, born in August, but no days off season.
So here's your no days off season. It'll tie to that, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to make you blush. Watch his cheeks, folks. I got a comment when I told people that Buster was coming on, and the comment that I got by DM was, "Come on, he's doing no days off season. He's got to look better. I haven't seen a shirtless trick basketball shot in a while. Tell him to take his shirt off and make a trick shot for me." I'm telling you.
That's an excellent comment, and they're coming. That's out in Connecticut where my family is. I didn't go out there in the winter.
There you go. You got to give the people what they want.
Out this person.
No, I can't. It is a female. It is definitely a female. And so Buster is taken. That was my response. Buster is taken. But
it's Andrew's sister.
That's what my grandpa tried to hit you up yourself. She doesn't let anyone do her dirty work for her. She's a Goldberg. Come on now.
That's it. Buster, listen, we appreciate having you on. Thank you for this. I can't wait for the next one, although this is plenty. And we'd love to have you back on. Anything you're doing, anything you're promoting, I'll send Blake a thank you for all the stuff on that as well. And, dude, you're doing it the right way. And anybody who's not following Buster, I mean, I know you guys follow. I have 2,626 followers. Buster's Hoop Nation has 1 million. But I'll get there one day. 2,000.
I believe it.
620. Like 15. What does no days off season entail? Is it just exercise, or do you have like a little power list of this? Is what
the core concept is that you get physical movement every day, so I can include all ages. That's what it is. It's physical movement every day, whether it's just a walk or something. That's at its core what it is. But that's what it started as, and what it sort of is now is just you give it your all in everything that you do, and you don't take the days off that you shouldn't.
Started the national diet, Buster, with my Luka Nation Fit Family. It's one of our IG groups. I was 294.2 pounds on April 24th. This morning I was 262. I've lost 32 pounds in 5 weeks. That's
awesome, man.
And I'm going to continue it all the way to the national. So we're doing good, man.
And your story inspired others too, Cage. Like, it's not just you. That's the beauty of it, right? Like, no days off season, there's a community. Because there's other people that want to do it. And I think that little bit of accountability, Buster's doing it. We're in the same community. I think you have a Discord about it. Like I said, I'm going to do it. So holding each other accountable. We're over an hour. Dude, I hope you have an amazing weekend. I'd love to kind of, I hope we have you on in next year and next year and next year and next year and just watch your growth as a businessman, as a person. I've seen it in the 2 years.
I hate that there's a crease in that, by the way. But
Well, it was in the package. I'll flatten it.
You put it under a book.
They graded V-Friends. They will grade that as authentic.
I'll put it in a book. It'll be fun. I can get your autograph. Don't worry about it. It's all right. I'll find you.
It's not about that. It's about the sketch. My goal is to make that the most valuable thing in the pack.
Ooh, there you go.
That's the goal. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm happy
Thank
to
you,
come on anytime.
So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is, 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com, or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luka Nation.